Hey everybody, how you doing? Brett here for TopoRanger. Today we're in Cumberland County at Letort Spring Garden Preserve. I was just at Boiling Springs, which is like 5 minutes down the road from here. And the lake there is done, so I threw the drone in and we did some test runs to see what the water clarity was like. It looked pretty good. Now Letort Spring might sound familiar to you guys because I have done a couple episodes down on the Conondogwinet Creek where the Letort Spring, all the flow, all the discharge from the Letort Spring comes out, and there's a waterfall and it goes right into the creek, and there's those cool marl caves there. So this is basically the opposite end of that. This is where Letort Spring Run heads up. There's a couple springs right over here that I'll take you to, and there's also one right here. This barn and this spring house are part of the preserve. This is probably one of the nicest spring houses I've ever seen. Obviously they're maintaining it, but the water here looks pretty clear, and then over there's a whole room in there with a floor of water. I did bring a flashlight, so why don't we get that out and see if we can see what's in there. I don't know if this is how this has always looked. There are these shelves here. There's one out there, and there's two in there, which I think are probably not original, but they might represent what was originally here. So I guess maybe they would put stuff on the shelves and then they would store things down basically on the floor, which looks to be about a foot deep. Maybe this originally did have some type of floor. It's a big space. I mean, you could store a lot of stuff in here. Nice roof. So now we're around the back side. There's the window. This has got whitewash, it looks like. Probably would have been covered in whitewash originally. And looks like we got the discharge coming out of there. And then this water here that's discharging from the spring house probably joins up with the main part of Letort Spring Run right down there. And then across the Cumberland Valley into the Conondogwinet, winds its way down to the Susquehanna, boom, down to the Chesapeake. That's where this water here winds up. So this is a very nice barn, well maintained. It looks like they're building some type of trail here, perhaps. You see that nice weathered surface there? Here, you can see a nice joint that got weathered out. Here's a bigger joint right here. The preserve goes up on the hill and then over to the other side of the hill. Before I started filming, I was poking around and I found something I think you guys are gonna like. It's about 100 feet that way, just past the barn, and I'll show you the two springs there. But as is common in the farmland, we found some ruins. Let's just pop up to the top of the hill and see if we can see anything. Here we are at the top of the ridge. What have we here? Groundhog hole. Kind of neat. They've put these piles, they've created these piles of material right there. It's like formed. It almost looks like a sculpture, a earth sculpture. You see how all these sticks are placed in here? They're very carefully embedded, woven. And see how it curves? That's not natural. Thicker logs on the bottom. As you get to the top, it gets thinner. What are these mysterious piles? So we're back at the spring run. There she blows. looking nice. You can see where the currents kind of divide up the floating, what I think is watercress. There's also flow coming from here, a distinct flow coming from this side. So from here to here is a separate spring run, goes up that way, and then this spring run, which looks like the larger of the two, they meet right here and they flow down there. Now I think that's a private house there, but I think that's a separate piece of property maybe. I'm not sure if the spring pool is on private property or it's part of the preserve. But yeah, you can see it's got a lot of that gunk in it right here, a lot of that algae. But the water's clear. And here's our nature trail. So as you saw, I was just walking along this path, this nature path, minding my own business, not really looking for anything. And as I'm walking by, something catches my eye right over here. There's this big mound, this big hill here, and it just kind of seems out of place. There is some bedrock down there, but I'm not seeing any bedrock here. Lots of rocks that look like they might have tumbled down here, but definitely no bedrock. And then I look up there and I see, aha, and look what we have here. 1, 2, 3. Semi-exposed curving stonework forms. Survey says lime kilns. Bingo. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, look at that. That's nice. So when I came up to look at these before I started filming, I couldn't help but notice the rock they used to build these kilns doesn't look like limestone to me. It looks like some type of red sandstone or maybe quartzite or something. I'm not sure. Here's a piece here. It's reddish and it's got this red, what looks like mortar, keeping it together. Cow jawbone. As you can see, they're not very large. They might be 8 feet in diameter. They're there. Probably about half the size of the Route 324 lime kiln, the last lime kiln episode we did. Each one of these is about half that size. I'm assuming they're lime kilns because if it's in the middle of the farmland, but also based primarily on the size. I can't look at this and say, oh, this looks like the interior of an iron furnace, or this is a lime kiln. So I'm just going based on the size and the location. Now this is an old dump as well, so there's all kinds of bottles here, and what look to be cow bones probably. See that there? Lots of mason jars. Now the space in between these two, this one almost looks like it's starting to get pushed over. This one has this tree growing basically right into it, kind of. So my guess is there was a lime works here that serviced the local farms all around here. Most of this is still farmland today, which is kind of cool. Before this whole side of the structures collapsed down, which is what all that rock there is, this would have been 1, 2, 3. There's a road, which we'll hit on the way back right over there. It looks like there's some artisanal quarries there. They would have just brought it up, boom, dumped it in here, pulled the stuff out right here. Here we go. Now we have a nice shot. I'm looking straight down into the far left kiln if you're looking at the road. So we came from that direction right up here. You got to be careful where you step because it's just all glass. And it's old Spam, old orange juice. There's an old boot. Now this makes me think of Jay Steele. Check out the links where I link to other channels, and go to and subscribe to Jay Steele. He does bottling stuff up in Canada where they had just these huge, it looks like just forests just filled with bottles, but it's like old stuff from like the late 1800s, early 1900s. This stuff here looks like it's all from like the 50s or the 40s or or something like that. It's just junk, really. It's quite a bit of it. And there's another one up here. Unfortunately, that's what they did in the past. People used to just pick a place in the woods out in the country and they would just come and dump their stuff there. I did find 3 cool pieces because I actually do kind of like the 40s and the 50s or the 60s style. I found 3 pieces that I'm going to show you on the way out. But go check out his site and subscribe to it, because he pulls stuff out of the ground that's just really cool, especially like purple glass and stuff. Let's go check out these bottles. Alrighty, here I have them stashed here. I just cleaned them off a little bit because they had some dirt on them. Now this one, I actually don't have one of these. It's just a common 1 gallon glass jug. I've seen a lot of these down in York County, but the sites that I went to over there, I couldn't find a whole one. There's several of them on there. See, it says 1 gallon. So I'm gonna clean this out, you know, like put coins in it, or pieces of rock or crystal or glass, maybe creek glass. How cool would that be? So I gotta clean that out. And then there's this one here, which is just like a mayonnaise jar, but it has that cool little design, right? So this is my favorite bottle that I found. And there's more up there. So I collect these things. I take them out of the land and just take them home. This one has one of those patent pending numbers. I could go online and get the diagram, figure out what year this is from. Now I've heard of the cure, the Letort Spring cure, and legend has it that the waters coming from the spring, from Letort Spring, can cure you, can heal you. They can heal your dropsy. They can heal your
scrofula, scald head, liver lesions, botulism, syphilis, paralysis, angina, foggy thoughts, stomach spasms, low spirits, bad legs, and carbuncles.
They can heal all kinds of stuff. You see that? Look at that. Crystal clear, pure Pennsylvania limestone spring water. Like I said, the Letort Spring water is especially effective for dropsy. Now it does have some other stuff in it. Got a little bit of turpentine just to preserve it, but that's okay. That's okay. That's not going to hurt you, you know. And what do you want to do? You want to drink a little turpentine, maybe a little opium too, right? Cure that dropsy for you. Seeing as how y'all aren't here to partake of nature's bounty, I'll kick back a swig just for all you guys out there. All right? You had a good time. Make sure you hit subscribe, ring my bell, follow me on all platforms. All right? Had a good time here at Letort Spring Garden Preserve. It's Brett for TopoRanger. Bottoms up.